right? And Kelly is here to talk to you about passion. Woo!
So I'm going to run around. Yeah. So I should probably take off my coat.
Where's your jersey?
What's that?
Where's your jersey?
I went with a coat this year, so set it up. Can you guys hear me? Turn this off.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome! How was Monday night? Someday I'm going to come to a Monday night. Someday I'm going to make it. No, we actually had a very nice 4.5 hour drive up here. Had girl car, boy car, talked about everything in between. So happy we made it this morning. We didn't have to reschedule, anything. We are going to talk about passion. Most of you know how passionate I am about certain things. Most of you know the things that I'm passionate about. Anyone want to take a guess? Give me my 4 top. Who wants to do it? Not you guys. Not you. Who else knows my 4 passions? Candace? Let's see if she gets it right.
Well, I know a couple.
Joey, the ducks,
Yeah.
the pledge, and mustard.
She got it right. What kind of mustard?
French.
Yes! Do you have some in your bag for me? I have some. So we're going to watch a video and the song's going to come on. So stand up again. You didn't know you guys were at choir/dance. So there is a guy called Michael Jordan. He is the king of elevation. Anyone know Michael Jordan? So we are going to take a little peek at him and his elevation. Okay. How was that? How was that for elevation? So who here?
So it was Jordan that you're passionate about? I'm sorry. Because I
he's
couldn't
my-
hear her. I thought she said Joey, and I'm like, is that your
It is
husband?
Joey Harrington. Yes, that's my first passion.
Okay.
My son the other day said that Michael Jordan was not the best basketball player.
He is a stupid boy.
It is a stupid boy. That's the stupidest thing he's ever said. So, when we are talking about, the theme here, we're talking about elevate. Like, this is what kind of came to mind in the way of because I had to get some video, song, something going, and so I was like, this is a passionate person. And on his next slide there's many quotes from Michael Jordan, and you guys have probably read them before, seen them before. One of his, most famous ones that he's talked about, basically his failures. Michael Jordan, you guys probably know this, but he did not make the varsity team his sophomore year. So he had to change his blueprint. At that time, he went home crying, he said, and he's like, I'm going to change my blueprint. I'm going to change my elevation. And so he goes from changing his elevation to flying high. And I would like to see us do the same. We need quotes like Michael Jordan that people are going to remember. Anyone want to take a shot at a couple quotes from Beckel that you just know it's him?
To expect, you
We-
must inspect. Who?
Kim?
To expect, you must inspect.
Okay, another one. I know you guys know this.
Be better tomorrow than you are today.
Bam. Another. Teamwork makes the dream work.
What's the other one?
If it's free, I'll take 3.
What's that? What is that?
If it's free, I'll take 3.
Who said that?
With the
Okay,
crowd.
so everybody write this down. So we need to have our quotes and our pictures, next to things. When we go out on site visits, people say, oh yeah, I remember hearing that from Beckel, me. What does change do?
Attracts attention.
So that was another one that I think Andrew was saying, oh yeah, he thought it was my quote, but that comes from the guru over there. And you are the guru. So you can go to the next slide. He has so many accomplishments. I mean, talk about elevations in his career. As I was looking and trying to find all this, obviously you know what time that is. And then he kind of, I guess he's at $1.9 billion. 56 years old.
You want another stat?
Yeah, you saw something.
2018, Nike sold $2.9 billion worth of Jordan apparel, hats, shoes, etc. $2.9 billion, and he hasn't played an NBA game since 2003. That's powerful branding.
And he is obviously still going up. So we need
All those zeros.
we need a list of accomplishments, and we need to change our blueprint. So next slide here. So I want you to write these questions down. Oh, this is actually, we forgot this slide, but here is all of his awards, everything that he's won. High school in North Carolina. North Carolina! Whoa, I thought I was going to get a big cheer out of that.
NC State.
He's still North
So,
Carolina.
a picture of the Ducks. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. I would still choose a beaver if I had
Oh,
to.
go Huskies.
Okay.
Whatever.
Oh no! Oh no! Where's May? Last year you got down on your knees. We did an Oregon song, and she did not stand up. Okay, so obviously he has accomplished a lot and he's elevated quite a bit. I want us to get to the point to where we have our list of accomplishments, and I want those awards. I want all of that, sitting behind us. What is your elevation blueprint? Think about that. Mine originally was, I was going to be a teacher, and I bossed my brother around, and I didn't know what I was actually going to do after that. I was just going to be a bossy teacher. I ended up being
You still are. Sorry. I meant to think that. Not say it out loud.
Yeah. He likes it when he can't hear me on the webcam. It's his favorite time when he can't listen to my words. So anyway, I worked in the restaurant for 15 years. Changed my blueprint. Worked at Red Lobster. Woo. Yeah. Woo! I was a single mom making good money. Red Lobster closed, like the day I was like scrambling to find a babysitter. And they were actually giving us our severance check that day. I decided that time that I wanted to try something different. This is in 1997. I go into Personal Source and fill out the application. I get hired part-time at Chase Village. Woo! Yeah, part-time.
Thank God.
So 1997 of October, I start working at Chase Village as a leasing consultant, making $7 an hour,
Plus commission.
$25 commission, and there was a wait list, and 4 leasing consultants at the same time, 2 different clubhouses, and you have to get the phone. Oh no, but it has to ring twice. So we talked about this at the leasing consultant training. We're on the phone like this. Like, you're not going to make any money unless you're going to get that phone. So at that point in time, I thought, this is crazy. I'm not staying here. There's no way that I'm going to be able to make any money doing this. I tried to quit a few times during that period. The community manager at the time could not stand me because I actually followed some rules. So anyway, I wasn't the one that was supposed to be picked, and she told me. I was like the 4th choice. So at that point in time, 97, 98, Simpson Property Group took over Chase. So now I have exposure to a huge company, 135,000 apartments at that time, because they were a double Don Simpson's group. But at that time too, I didn't know what I was doing. This is 1999. They thought, well, they can't find a manager. They couldn't find anyone. I get appointed manager. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have 22 employees. We had in-house everything. It was time to change my blueprint again. We had landscapers. We had courtesy patrol. I had no idea. I was managing at the time. I was not leading. I was managing. 1999, a long time ago. 21 years I've been at Chase Village. 21 years. So February 28th, 2003. Guess what happens?
I
know.
Guess what happened?
Greg and Tim came to the property and bought it.
Take one of those.
Yeah.
And guess what? That's in 2 days, you guys. 16 years right here.
Yeah.
16 years. Give me some. Give me some.
I will. Glad we bought you guys.
That's a good one. And you guys have probably heard the story too, that I was not his pick. Tim Smith decided that he liked me. So needless to say, they decided to keep me on. I was kind of at that point where I was kind of tired, battling between student housing and senior housing. Chase was like 50-50. So I was tired and wore out, and I was like, I'm ready for another blueprint change. I'm ready for another elevation. As the partners came in, I decided, wow, I might be able to work for them. I think I can change again, another elevation with Horizon. With these guys walking around in their jeans, not firing me because their apartment 238 was smoking pot. That's a true story. So I thought I'd be fired because I didn't write them up. Yep, they're getting evicted 24 hours. They're like, no, we'll go and mess with them for a while. So they talked to them about the heater. It was a great opportunity for me to stand back and let them kind of.
Let us get high.
They got high. It was so bad in there. So at that point in time, I had to say I've got to commit to this. And there's one main reason, and that I have an ambassador of elevation. Mr. Beckle. He pushed me so hard, beyond what I thought I could do. He would tell me, you can't do that. He would set that little seed in there. I'd be like, oh, that little butthole. He does this on purpose to really piss me off. So 16 years, he's been my ambassador of elevation. I'd never be here. I would never be here. So fortunate about the training. Every call, every meeting, every day, every visit, trying to get to the weed and the cigarette butt before he sees it. There's a trick to getting it up with your shoe before he gets it. Oh yeah. What about Becca lettuce? You know, can you get your heel right in the slit of the sidewalk and get it out? Oh yeah. Oh, it happens. It's all the way you walk on your tour, you know. Talk about that a little bit later. So, okay, 2003 happens. That was a change to student housing. We took it to the next level. Another elevation change. He said, we're going student. Okay, let's do this. Which changed everything. It changed the growth of Chase Village. It really made that elevation a little bit easier because of having the students and learning student housing. It was new and it was great and it was a change. It was different. I got another blueprint. So I'm still not leading yet. I'm still managing. I'm still not a leader yet. And I don't know this yet. I think I am. 2007, July of 2007, what happened?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that incident?
No, Stadium Park was bought. That incident.
Kind of go hand in hand.
2007, we buy Stadium Park. At that time, Stadium Park was like the bad kid on the block, and I thought, no way. I'm not having nothing to do with Stadium Park. Anyway, change of elevation, change my blueprint. Okay, had to accept Stadium Park, and we had to make changes there.
The Comptons.
The Comptons. 2008, Red Dragon was titled.
Was born.
Was titled. So guess who? Anthony Collins, AC. Some of you know him. He would text the manager, Jessica Pace, at Stadium Park and say, Red Dragon's in flight. I can fly like Mike. And that's where Red Dragon started. We will talk about her later. You don't want to see her. You want really nothing to do with her. Right, John?
Yeah.
Gil, who else has seen her? Gil's seen her many mornings. Yeah. Okay, elevation change. 2011, the first signature of the pledge. 2011. Company blueprint change. Okay, now we have the pledge. Now we're actually looking at something that we're going to promise, and we sign it. And it has been, 9 years of elevation of the pledge. So, and I have copies. I distinctly have 2011, and I'm going to say I know 14. I've shared them at the leadership training. I have all these different copies of the pledge. And it has also been through its changes and its elevation. It's going to continue, to elevate. It's not going to stop. The pledge is going to always be there. We did not talk before. And it's going to go deeper as you guys take this all in. So, where are we at now? We're at 2012. Another elevation for me with By Grand Oaks. I'm officially a regional manager. 2 weeks later, Aisha, August 16th of 2012, Turn from Hell, San Marcos, the lodge happened. Change of my elevation. That experience was the worst 2 weeks of my life. But I would never ever change it because it elevated me to be a leader. I was in Eugene, I was doing my managing, and I finally got to San Marcos and said, now I have the ability to go to the next level. I'm not in my cozy little Chase Village office. I have to get out there and I got to put on my blue striped dress and I got to make it happen. That is when I switched to being a leader for all around Horizon, not just in my comfort zone. That was big. We'll talk more about that later. That's a long, long story. So now we have November 2017, and Arvin Beckel have a meeting with me, and we discuss Director of Regional Operations. What's that? My next blueprint, my next elevation happened. Never in my lifetime, ever, did I think that they would have that conversation with me. Ever. Did I want it? Yes. Did I have passion for it? Yes. Once again, I didn't know what it all entitled, but I was ready to go to the next level, get to that next elevation. Think about what your blueprint is, because you never know where you're going to actually end up going. Think about that. Look at VG last year. Man, recovery plan, 100%. And Brandon has turned that building around. And, we keep talking about Brandon. we need to keep VG going here. That was huge last year, and I'm glad you're here today, Brandon, because honestly, last year at this, when we were starting this whole process, I wasn't sure. So I say you have made a blueprint change for sure at Village Green. So, little. Crossing Place. Greg talked about it too. Huge for the company. We all hear about what's happening in College Station, and we hear all of this negative. And I went there this summer, and I saw, Lauren LaPointe. The Crossing Place is the place where she said, I just don't know where my next elevation is going to be, but I'm going to make it gold. That's what she said to me. And that has stuck with me because she is gold right now. And we appreciate that. Those are the sort of things that get into your elevation. There's times when, John's been there too, of how do I get to that next level? You got to find your next blueprint. You can't just sit there and be mediocre. It's just not going to happen. So as our elevation goes, as a company, I've learned over this last year, getting out to all of the properties and not being in that comfort zone, and how much I've learned and how much I've seen. And I've seen good changes. I've seen you all get better. I've seen the green reports. I've seen what has been happening out there. I hope they have too. So now we need another change of elevation. November 2018, VP of Regional Operations, my next level. So as I'm elevating, my passion's growing for your elevation. That is what it's about now. I want to take everything that I've learned, everything that has been brought to me, and share it with you guys. Most of you have seen me on site visits. It's exactly what Beckel used to do to me. And it's the process. And you guys wonder why I keep asking for agendas. Like, this is the process. This is going to make us better. This is going to get us to the next level. This is going to elevate us. There's 21 years in me, and there's 16 years that I've actually grown, so I can share it with you. That's what my passion is. I want everybody to get, the awards that Michael Jordan has. I want all of those awards. I want you guys to feel that passion of that. This is what you want. I want that. Michael Jordan said, I want, how many, rings he has. 7 or 8 rings and all of the awards. He changed his blueprint. He wanted that. He got to that next elevation. The passion that is in me when I go to your properties and I visit and I'm looking around, it's Beckel. He has pushed me and pushed me to get to this level. So I can share it with you. It's natural. It's like osmosis. It just happens. And there's things that have just been, growing in me for 16 years. So I'm so passionate that I can bring it to you, and then we get to the next level together. There's so many people that have blueprints that have changed. Agreed? Many things.